Time to play the game!
The following triple threat match is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring, representing the disciples of darkness from the Pizza Hell, the Demon Queen.
In sleep, you listen to me. In dreams, you can. The voice which calls to me and speaks my name. Do I dream again? For now I
Approaching the ring, the new hero,
What you want, what you feel, what you need from me. What you want, what you feel, what you need from me. What you want, what you feel, what you need from me. What you want, what you feel, what you need from me.
and representing the Misfits from Tokyo, Japan.
You're the fighter! You've got the fire, the spirit of a warrior, the champions.
Alright, welcome back, and we are looking at our first women's match today. Very briefly, the history of this match. It was a title match for the Women's Championship, and the Women's Championship had really, in GRW, had really just been created as sort of a throwaway, I guess. A lot of the people who signed up had female characters as valets for their main male characters, and so we just sort of spur of the moment said, well, why not have a women's championship as well? And I don't know what happened to it after I left. At some point it was retired, but I don't know the story around that. So this match here that we're looking at, Chinatsu Chen went in as the champion, and the pay-per-view was called 8. The reason it was called 8 was because it was our 8th pay-per-view, and for some reason back then I thought that was a very witty name. I don't know why I thought that in retrospect. But yeah, so the title was on the line, and this match was like the others from the year 2008. So the three people that we're looking at in the ring, I'll start with the blonde lady. That was Misery, who I did mention in another video. The one who just got DDT'd is Gabrielle Madison Montgomery. I don't think I've talked about her, but I will, obviously, in this video. And then the other one who's standing to the side right now is Chinatsu Chen, who, like I said, was the champion heading into this match. Now, I'll start with Chinatsu. And as I mentioned in an earlier video, originally the Crimson Ghost was Chinatsu's manager, and Chinatsu was relatively new to the wrestling industry, and didn't have a great deal of experience, so Ghost was sort of there to pass on what he knew to her. The other thing about Chen was that she was Komasub's cousin, and Komasub, who appeared in an earlier video, obviously. Now, even though they were cousins, they had very different personalities, very different characters. You know, Chinatsu was in every sense a super face, and never wanted to break the rules, wanted to earn people's respect the honourable way, and didn't want to pick up a victory if it wasn't a clean and respectable victory. So yeah, she was very much a good guy, well, not a guy, I guess. Komasub, on the other hand, was very different to that, and I will talk about him in a later video. Now, well, before I move on, Chinatsu, let's just talk about her moveset for a moment. I believe her moveset has been based on Trish Stratus. So Misery's the next one who we'll talk about, and like I said in an earlier video, she was, you know, sort of a servant slash girlfriend of Lord Deathman. A very weird relationship going on for two very weird characters. Now Misery, the idea behind her was that she was a heel, and she was extremely tough. You know, she was tough enough to fight any of the male competitors on the roster, and you know, Deathman was sort of the only one who could control her. So yeah, so in terms of her moveset, I believe it's based off Beth Phoenix's, and she's very much a power wrestler, so doing a lot of big moves, you know, lifting others up, slamming them down, those sorts of things. And I guess I'll take this opportunity to talk about Deathman, since as I didn't get to it in the last match. Deathman was sort of the, you know, I once heard him mentioned as the Jason Voorhees of GIW, in the fact that he was, you know, almost superhuman, and those sort of characters seem to come up a lot in EFEDs, where they're almost just a generic Undertaker or Kane ripoff, where they are, you know, have, you know, sort of quasi-supernatural powers and are almost unstoppable. And to an extent that was the Deathman character, but Deathman did it really well. You know, his writing was really good. He made that character work. And Deathman's moveset has been based off of Kane's as well. Though I did change that one up quite a bit, just to get rid of some of the more agile moves that Kane has in his moveset, because Deathman, I think, in the game is over 7 foot tall. That was how big his character was. So he's very much, you know, a powerhouse. He's a big heel, and a guy who will, you know, play mind games, get inside his opponent's head. So he's very much a threat, both physically and mentally. So we'll talk about Gabrielle now. And when Gabrielle debuted in the Fed, she was the valet, the manager, and I think either the girlfriend or the fiancée of Jack Severino, who was another character. And so originally she just started off as a valet, and you know, when the Women's Championship debuted, she was sort of automatically in that division. And the thing about it was that after I left, at some point, the character behind Jack and Gabrielle, or Gabby as she is referred to, he left, went on hiatus for a couple of years, and when he came back and used the Gabby character, but there was no Jack there, right? So when he returned, he ditched Jack. I think Jack was in a coma, was the storyline, and he made Gabby his main character. And it's rare because e-fetting is largely dominated by males. You don't get that many females participating, at least in my experience. Certainly they are outnumbered compared to guys who do e-fetting. So it was kind of, you don't see that many top female characters, because if you're a male, most likely you're going to create a male character. But Jack didn't do that. He came back. Gabby was his main character, and he ended up, really becoming a main event player with Gabby, and Gabby was competing with the men for the World Championship, and I believe at one point she was in a world title match for UGWC in the main event of Horizons for the title, which is a big deal. And I think she came up short in that match. She didn't win the title, but certainly in terms of the women of GIW, Gabby had the most success, I would think. Now, in terms of Gabrielle's actual character, her moveset is based off Layla's moveset, but that's another one that I did have to edit a little bit, just because Gabby has some high-flying moves at her disposal that Layla doesn't really use. Now, in terms of her personality, when Gabby first debuted as the valet of Jack, she was very much, sort of stuck up, thought she was better than everyone else, and kind of like the Bella twins when they're in heel mode. That's sort of the best comparison I can make. Now, when she returned, like I said, Jack wasn't in the picture anymore. Gabby was there to compete on her own and really prove her own worth. And the character sort of changed as she did that, because she demonstrated how good she was, the talents that she had, and really sort of won over the fans and the other wrestlers. And her character did change to more of a face character, and she was very much a top face by the time she left UGWC. So she did go through a bit of a transformation from, a baddie to a goodie, a heel to a face. So when the universe mode starts, Misery will of course be a heel, Gabby and Chen will be faces. So that's about it for this match. I just wanted to go through the bios of these three women here, and I've talked about Deathman as well, seeing as I had a bit of extra time. I don't have anything else to mention for this match, so I might shut up and let you enjoy the rest of it. So as always, thank you for watching, and I will hopefully see you next time.
Breakup! That could have been it right there. Nice, well-placed kick to the ribs. Look out! Look out! This could do it. That was an absolutely incredible move. Just what an amazingly gifted, and this has got to be it. 2, 3, the Princess wins!
Here is your winner, the Princess.
Man, what a contest! We definitely just witnessed one for the ages.